The Eagles actually play a preseason game tomorrow, and while I am pumped up about that, it is way more important that we discuss the training camp winners, the guys who have impressed everybody, turning heads at Eagles camp and maybe could even make the roster. We'll talk about some of the losers as well, and we'll discuss the remaining camp battles. And last but not least, we will laugh at the hilarious Dallas Cowboys who continue to outdo themselves. We'll break it all down and more. But welcome into A to Z Philly. I'm RB. We're fresh off the vacation, and we're ready for some Eagles football. I can't believe they're already back tomorrow. I know it's preseason. It's not the same kind of kick as a week one Eagles crushing the Cowboys game, but nonetheless, Zach Taylor for the Bengals says they're going to play their starters tomorrow. You know, the Eagles, on the other hand, from last year, didn't really play anybody. They win the Super Bowl. And, you know, that's their philosophy now. That's their strategy, right? Keep everybody rested and healthy. But maybe the Bengals are trying to go the opposite way. But despite whatever the new trends are, Jalen Hurts is staying in his own lane. This guy is incredible. I love his mindset. I love the way he's leading the pack. I love the way that the guys are talking about this season. They don't want to hear anything about last year. They are highly focused on this upcoming year and trying to make another run at a Super Bowl. And here's the newest quote of the day that they should post on the locker room wall from Jalen Hurts. Quote, "Nothing that I've accomplished in the past will get me what I desire in the future." I love this guy, man. This guy, his mentality, the way he works, it has to be studied. It should be passed on to other people. They can say what they want about him. They can try to bring him down and trash him. It doesn't matter because Jalen's going to do what Jalen does, and that's go out there, work his butt off, and get better year over year. I'm so excited to see this guy. They shouldn't play him any snaps at all in the preseason. Get him ready for week one. Another guy that I hope is ready for week one is A.J. Brown. We didn't really list him as a training camp loser just because he's so damn good. But unfortunately, he has been hurt the last couple of days dealing with a hamstring. I hope he's okay to go in a few weeks. But rest him. Let him get back to 100% health. Either way, though, another great quote from A.J. Brown. He says, quote, "The Lombardi, she's not loyal. She's not loyal. We have to do what we have to do again." Honestly, one of the best receivers already in Eagles franchise history, and that is only going to improve over the next couple of years. Now, another moment from when I was gone that I really enjoyed was this little clip at the ring ceremony where Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni look at each other. Nick Sirianni says, "Are you ready?" Jalen says, "Let's do it one at a time, win one at a time." I love it, man. I love the way that this guy's structured approaches. Let me go improve tomorrow. 1% better every day. Let me get better this season. And yet people try to bring him down. I don't know why, but I am so happy. This is a special duo, but they're going to need more help. The Eagles will always look to improve. They made a trade a few days ago. They are not content. And let's talk about a guy who is not content on the defense. Quinyon Mitchell is our first winner of training camp. Jalen Hurts says that he faces Quinyon every day, and that Quinyon has grown in confidence. He's talking more. He says the biggest jump is that he is more confident. Devontae Smith says Quinyon is better at understanding what the offense is doing and recognizing what the receivers are doing. Now, Quinyon Mitchell is already one of the best players in the NFL. As a rookie, like he had an unprecedented type of season, and if he had more interceptions and didn't get screwed a few times in the regular season, he probably wins Rookie of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year. And they ranked Quinyon Mitchell number 49 in the NFL. Him and Cooper DeJean are already in the NFL top 100 after one season, and they're just scratching the surface. Quinyon Mitchell, by the way, has probably had the best training camp out of everybody. Quinyon's ready to be that number one lockdown guy, and I think he's going to do it for a long time, and he's going to make a lot of money doing it. He never gets in trouble. You never see him. He's just inside learning, studying. So happy for Quinyon. And he is definitely a winner of this training camp, and I think he's going to get even better this year. Another guy that is turning heads at Eagles camp is Moro Ojomo, 7th-round pick a couple years ago. We saw what he did at the end of last year, and he needs to step up and take a lot of the snaps this year. Eagles just traded away Thomas Booker, right? They have Gabe Hall, the undrafted guy, but Moro Ojomo is going to have to take on a lot of snaps, and every day at camp, he is making a big play. And then sticking with the defensive line, Josh Uche has been a late bloomer here at camp. He's making a lot of plays, a lot more than Azeez Ojulari apparently. And Jalix Hunt, one of the guys we looked at very closely coming into this training camp, has been making big plays. He has been saying all the right things. His mentality is on point. And I think Jalen Hunt is going to really emerge and be a special player. We've heard other guys on the offensive line praise him and talk about how good he looks, etc. So a big training camp for some guys on the defensive line. Now, behind them, Jahad Campbell has been taking first-team reps all camp long, right? Nakobe's still rehabbing his injury, and Campbell fell to the Eagles, the hometown kid. He has wowed everybody with his athleticism and physicality. And let me tell you something right now. The Eagles struggled for a long time with this linebacker core, right? They never had the right guys. They never invested properly. And now you have Zach Bond, who you paid. You draft Jahad Campbell. You still have Nakobe Dean. The Eagles might have the best linebacker room in the NFL. Now, let's talk about a couple undrafted guys who have been turning heads. Might not know them, but Elijah Cooks is an undrafted receiver from a couple years ago. And I didn't know much about him. He went to Nevada for 5 years, and then he played at San Jose State. And in his last year of college, he had 1,000+ yards, 10 touchdowns, and he is 6'4". He's a much bigger target. And he came into this camp saying that he was looking to, quote, make a play every day, and he has done that so far. Amazing mentality. Love the way that he's fighting for his career, staying in the moment, and he is turning heads. Everybody has said behind the top three, these guys, Elijah Cooks and also Darius Cooper, have been some of the best players at camp. Like, those are the guys that are having the biggest increase in their stock. Darius Cooper's a much different type of receiver. 5'11", just came out of this draft undrafted, and he went to Tarleton State, which I wasn't really familiar with, but had one of the best seasons in college football this year. He had 14 touchdowns, almost 1,500 receiving yards. He's only 5'11". He's one of those small, speedy, strong guys that can be moved all around. Probably more of a slot guy at the NFL level if he can make the team. But those two guys I will be keeping my eyes glued to tomorrow night, Elijah Cooks and Darius Cooper. And Anthony DeBona here says that Elijah Cooks and Darius Cooper have actually outplayed Johnny Wilson and Anais Smith, but you know, based on the politics and you know, how things usually go with the hierarchy, they may not make the team, which would suck. Now, speaking of surviving, on the other hand, the Eagles have had some clear losers at training camp. I think one of them has to be Andrew Makuba here on the right, second-round rookie. It's not really his fault, right? They wanted him to come into camp and probably win the job, but he has been injured for most of training camp. He's been dealing with a shoulder. When he's been on the field, he's looked okay, but just hasn't had the reps. So at this point, it's starting to feel like Sidney Brown is the clear-cut guy to win the other safety job. The other thing is the one we came in looking at closely, which was corner, and that's Adoree Jackson, Kelee Ringo, right? They go out, they trade for Jacorian Bennett. Vic Fangio doesn't seem to be too confident in either guy right now. So I would say Kelee Ringo is the loser of training camp. Not that he won't be the starter, not that he still can't have a great season, but he was the clear-cut favorite coming into camp to win this job. They wanted him to win it. They've been propelling him forward and developing him within house, and he just hasn't done enough to come out and win the job outright. So I'm still excited to see Kelee Ringo and see how he plays, but a little bit of a disappointing camp so far. This guy has definitely been a loser at camp. Avery Williams, do you remember him? Remember him? The Eagles signed him a punt return, kick return specialist. He hasn't even been doing that many reps at training camp. I don't know why. And he was supposed to be the easy favorite to come in here and win that job. Now, he may still, but I mean, it's been curious. I haven't heard a lot about Avery Williams at all. And last but not least, Nolan Smith, who we all love. We know he's going to have a great season. But simply, he has been a training camp loser just because he has not been on the field. He was rehabbing the triceps injury, then he started to play, and then he had a concussion. Don't know how he got the concussion, but hopefully he will be ready to go for week 1. I can't wait to see the type of jump he makes this year after playing so good in the playoffs and just a really good, outstanding person, and he's going to be the leader. He's got to step up and be the guy, and I think some of these training camp reps would have helped him out, but nonetheless, I still think he will be okay. So we'll see how he plays out. But before we get out of here, we have to talk about another defensive lineman, or a linebacker, whatever you want to call him. He could play anywhere, and that's Micah Parsons. While I was gone, Micah Parsons officially requested a trade, and I just have to say that the Dallas Cowboys are the funniest organization in sports. It's not even close. This guy has continued to express his desire to want to play for your team, and Jerry Jones doesn't even call him the right name. He compares him to Dak Prescott, and getting injured and things like that and disrespects him. And then today they asked Jerry Jones if he's confident Micah will play in the opener against the Eagles, and he said no. And then in addition to that, they asked him about having a potential handshake deal and not having the contract done. And Jerry Jones said that that could be a possibility because he bought the Dallas Cowboys many years ago and did that exact same thing. So Jerry Jones thinks that he is living in the 1950s. That's what it comes down to. Maybe he's just not able to run the team anymore, age and health-wise. But this is one of the craziest things I've ever seen. And I'm just laughing. I'm sitting back with my feet up laughing. I know Howie Roseman's doing the same thing. I mean, the Cowboys are literally burning down. They are falling. They are in shambles. And Jerry Jones doesn't even realize it. The Cowboys are going to be the cellar dwellers of the NFC East this year. I'm calling it right now. And maybe Micah Parsons ends up in the Eagles uniform next year just to, spite the Dallas Cowboys, just to piss them off even more. It would be incredible. Would you trade for Micah Parsons? Give me your thoughts down below on that. I think Howie would be willing to part with the draft capital, but I think paying him would be a lot of cheddar. So I don't know if it'll happen. Pair that with the Terry McLaurin thing, and the Eagles should be able to dominate the NFC East this year and finally break the curse. Give me your thoughts down below. How do you feel about the Eagles training camp and their preseason game? Who do you think is the biggest winner and loser so far at camp? Appreciate everybody for tapping in. As always, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.